So I recently got a request to do a video on some Thyra gameplay, which I'm happy to do. So here we are. There's a little more context to it than that, but I'll get to that in a bit. First thing, I'm just going to go over the loadout real quick. The weapon I'll be using is Final Justice, which is by far her best weapon. For the talisman, I'm going to be using Mark of the Commander, which I find to be better in solo play, because Thyra tends to kind of lack that offensive power that you need in some like cave levels, for example, or if you're fighting liches and things like that. So it's really good for that. Normally, I would be using Guardian Symbol, which is the potion that puts like a bubble around everybody. Very good for teams, but I don't find it to be as good in solo play. For the relic, I'm going to be using the Tempest Locket, which is just the tornado. It's really good for getting through, like when you just want to get through like a horde of enemies quickly. So what I was asked about specifically was a technique that I call shield slashing, which just looks like this. And all that is shield comes up, slash comes out, and you walk backwards with it. So the question was, why do I use it? Like, how is that practical? Well, there's actually a couple of reasons. One of which is the fact that I'm a controller user. Like, I don't play on keyboard. The fact that it's just her best way. Like, the best way to get her to slash in a direction other than the one that she's currently facing is to just move the shield in the direction that you want to slash in. So if I'm walking this way, if I'm walking up, but I want to slash down, the easiest thing to do is to just shield down and slash. So it just kind of controls her facing direction. And that's why the shield. The moving backwards part, that's just to counteract the fact that Thyra moves forward when she slashes. So if you'll notice, like I'm not actually moving the stick at all. I'm just mashing the slash button. And she's like walking with it. And sometimes you don't want that. Like sometimes you just want to maintain like the same center or whatever. So you would back up to counteract that moving forward with the slash. If you're on keyboard, you don't have to worry about the shield part, because with WASD you can just like walk in one direction and then you just like click in the other direction. So you could be like holding S to walk down, and then you just click above and she'll slash up. So you don't really have to worry about that part. Another reason why I use that technique is it's really useful in the corner. So like I was saying before, her slash pushes her forward. And what that does is if you've got a bunch of enemies that are, like around you while you're stuck in this corner, if you slash, it moves you forward, so it kind of opens you up on the side, so you can kind of get flanked, and you can take, like, the enemies can kind of sneak on the sides and hit you that way. So you'd back up, so you can kind of, kind of close that gap there. Because if you're stuck in the corner, pretty much all of your options are going to begin with shield and then slash. Shield, slash, and then from there you have other options. I guess you could use your weapon ability too, but that's better spent probably after you've you've done like a spear thrust or something, like out of the corner, and then you use that to cover the next spear thrust, so you can kind of string two spear thrusts together. There's some other applications for it, but I'm just going to play through a little bit, and hopefully I'll be able to demonstrate some of that. Alright, so this is the max difficulty and everything above it, but I'm going to play on 55 just so there's light floors, so you can better see what I'm doing. I'm actually kind of glad that this part of the map showed up. So one of the things here is, if you see these two gold chests, sometimes what people will do is sometimes they'll go in the middle, or they'll go to grab this one, and then they'll come all the way over here and grab the other one or something like that. One quick way to just grab both of them is to just kind of stay on the right of the spike grid thing, grab this, and then from here, just reach around there and grab that. You don't have to actually walk around the whole You don't have to walk around that whole thing, the column. Okay, just making sure that I kill these, kill those bone piles, because they'll keep spawning ghosts even after I've left the room. One of the things yeah, so if you'll see, I'm using the spear thrust to walk, and it's just faster. That's pretty much the only reason why I'm doing that. It's only faster though if you do shield canceling, which if you don't know what that is, hold on, let me get some room here. But all it is so if you notice the spear, you see like that ending lag, you see how she just kind of slowly retracts the spear. Well, if you throw your shield up at the end, you see how you basically just like animation cancel out of that. And that's what makes the spear thrust faster than just walking. If you're not shield canceling, like you're not closing out that animation, you're not canceling it out, then walking is faster. So just gonna grab these potions. Okay, grab the keys. So far, I haven't had to actually fight any rooms yet. One of the things you kind of have to learn as Thyra is is just kind of the timing of, like, getting the feel of when it's safe to do a spear thrust. Because like right here, like this would be too close. I'm gonna get hit probably. Okay, that's probably like the smallest window you can, the smallest window that you'd have. Because very often you can get hit while she's doing this wind up part. And of course you don't want that. Almost got hit there.
This could come in handy.
Okay, so let's see. I don't know if I can really show it here, because I'd have to kind of explain it quickly. Just because the skeletons kind of die fast. But I guess you can kind of see it here, so I'll let these guys build up a little bit, I guess. Alright, so let me bring them around. So you can kind of see, I don't know if you saw that, but I waited for one set, that front line, to, I waited for like that front line to bounce off the shield, and then I slashed the other one. And that gives you the most time, like that gives you more time than just waiting for like the next line to walk up and slash your to, you know, swing at your shield. These are not very difficult rooms at all. Kind of surprised. I haven't seen any liches yet. Yeah, so one of the things, yeah, so one of the things you kind of want to avoid as Thyra is you want to avoid getting, threats on multiple sides. As best as you can. Sometimes you can't really avoid it, but so normally you'd kind of want to stick to walls or whatever, because you know if you're going down a hallway, if you're going down a hallway, and it doesn't really matter if there's no enemies, but if there are enemies, you kind of want to stick to one side or the other, as opposed to going like straight up the middle. Grab this key. I'm just gonna come back around. See how I'm kind of sticking to the perimeter of the mob there. Okay, so here, I'm gonna stay close to the wall. Because what will end up happening sometimes is you'll get, you know, if you have 2 walls of enemies coming at you from 2 different sides, then, you know, chances are you're going to run into a situation where someone on both sides is going to attack you, and you're not going to be able to block them both. Kind of like that.
Valkyrie is back.
You really need to take out that summoning stone.
Right. Just finish these guys up real quick.
An amazing feat for a mortal.
Alright, so for this here, the quickest way is to just be around this corner. So a lot of times you can just basically kind of like skip a lot of dudes and just kind of go, if you just kind of stick to the corners, you cut corners as much as you possibly can. And that's what I was talking about with the timing there. How I got hit because I ended up cutting a little too close. Alright.
This will keep me in the fight.
One of the hardest things, or like the hardest orientations to go through is when you're walking down, just because the camera tilts up slightly. So it's the one way that, you know, your vision is, or like your view is like most obstructed. Just gonna grab this gold here. So stick to the corner. Now for the spikes here, this isn't a Thyra specific thing, but like on these spikes, if you wait for this first one, if you walk as soon as, let's just get rid of these guys. If you walk as soon as this first spike comes up, you can actually just walk across. If you just keep walking. Like you don't have to sit there and like time each one. Here's a cool little trick you can do with Thyra. Let's see if I can get it. Oh, no, I didn't get it. I'll see if I get it the next time. Okay, so this is kind of a big room. Oh, I didn't see the necromancer there. What I was gonna say was I'm gonna use a potion over there, but I actually don't. I think my summons are gonna go kind of crazy, and if I put them over there, then they're probably gonna kill the necromancer, and I don't want that done just yet. So I'll just kill these myself. Actually, you know what? I think I will use them here because I kind of want to mention something, which is so when you use this particular potion.
Got to take out that summoning stone.
When you use this particular potion, there's a little bit of a like ending lag to it or whatever. Like there's a little bit of time before, you know, Thyra can control. So what you would do is to bypass that, summon, and then use your weapon special. And by doing that, you'll you'll basically like animation cancel straight into the into the weapon ability, which has a much shorter I don't want, not cooldown, but you know, like that ending lag there. Oh, one of the things, so with the spear thrust, she kind of moves backwards with it. So one of the things you can do, and this is just kind of like micro optimization type stuff. But what you can do is you can actually grab with that back part. Like you notice, like I'm far away. Hold on. Go away. Go away. All right, so if you're like about here, and then you use the spear thrust, that part where she like winds back, you can use that to pick up things. Yeah, and that's what I was talking about before. It's that same thing where she's just like winding back, and you just wind back into the floor exit. See, this is me using the shield slash. And it kind of lets you, one of the useful things about it is it allows you to keep enemies from bouncing off your shield. So this is a really good room to demonstrate it. So if you notice those, like the enemies, and let's say there's like a lot more, like there's just like a constant flow. One of the things, so if you notice like how, if you notice there's like a rhythm here of them bouncing off the shield, it's like bump, 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 like that. That's really not enough time for you to do too much. Like if you want to get out of here, like if you want to walk away or something, it's not a whole lot of time to do that. So to improve, you know, kind of to open up your options a little bit more, what you would do is you would wait for one bump, you wait for one of the bumps, and then you slash immediately afterwards. I get a little closer so they can actually hit it. So I'm gonna wait for the bump, and then I'm gonna slash immediately afterwards. And you see how that kind of like freezes them? It freezes that front line, which blocks the next, you know, like the lines after them from moving forward. And now I have a lot more time to do something, like if I want to spear thrust. So if I spear thrust without it, like if I just tried to spear thrust between this, I'm going to get hit. So see how I got hit? So, but if I slash first, so I wait for them to bounce off the shield, bounce, slash. Now I can go forward with the spear thrust. And then from there, I glue two different spear thrusts together by using my special ability. And this is me using the shield slash. And I'm just kind of keeping them from bouncing away, because one of the things you'll notice is that they're bouncing kind of far away. Like when they bounce off the shield, they're bouncing pretty far, and I don't want that. I want them close. The reason I want them close is because I want to be able to catch as many of them as I can in a single weapon ability use. So slash, I'm just gonna kind of let them build up. And you kind of see how they're kind of gathering, how they're all kind of gathering like in this area instead of being like out here, because they were being like knocked all the way out here. So that's one use for it. You kind of keep them all together, and when they're all together, then you do that and you just wipe out like huge swaths of them.
We really need to take out that summoning stone.
And here we go. There's some more use of it. And all I'm doing is I'm just trying to keep them close, instead of like flying all the way out there. Just keeping them Okay.
I think I'll hold on to this.
So that was actually a really good room to demonstrate that. Got kind of lucky there. Thank you. I didn't want that potion anyway. Alright, see, rooms like this is exactly why I brought the potion that I did
This seems valuable.
instead of Divine Aegis, because Divine Aegis wouldn't really help me too much in a room like this. So, again, if you remember, so I'm going to potion, and then I'm going to use a special ability. So, potion, special ability. And that kind of covers me during that ending lag while using the potion, which is pretty much like its only weakness in terms of... I mean, like, it's not good at everything, but in terms of, like, it's the only particularly bad part about it. And it's just kind of a way to get around that.
This could come in handy. Got to take out that summoning stone.
Okay. These tiny spiders, they like, spiders attack really fast. Like most other enemies kind of have like a longer like wind up to them. But yeah, spiders in particular, they're just super fast. You pretty much have to block them just immediately. If you kind of notice on the grunts here, he kind of winds up a little bit. And you kind of have time to block, but you see how fast that was in that tiny spider. So you just got to make sure that if you see actually all of the spiders, I mean, except for the spider queen, but like the spider warrior, which are like the bigger ones, or you see these like these tiny spiders, you just make sure that you block immediately. As soon as they get close to you, like as soon as they're close enough to bite, you just block them. Okay, and that's an example of what I was talking about. Like, you don't want to get caught with threats on multiple sides. So when you're gonna slash into a crowd, you want to take a slice off the edge. You don't want to like go right into the middle unless you have your unless you plan on doing something that's going to cover all sides like this, or if you had like Divine Aegis and you planned on using that potion right there, then you could do it. Otherwise, ideally you kind of just want to stick to the perimeter and slowly work your way into the crowd. Stick to the edge. I mean, one nice thing is that blocking them also kills them, like those enemies in particular. So like the tiny ones, I mean. So that's useful. I really haven't gotten to kind of traversing through these guys. So one thing that you can do with the shield block, actually maybe this isn't a good spot to demonstrate it, but one of the things that you can do with the shield block to get through enemies, so if you notice when they bounce off, you actually have like a small window that you can kind of walk before the next attack happens, like from the next guy. Kind of hard to demonstrate it here because there's so few enemies, but when there's like a bunch of enemies, you can use the shield, and this, like them bouncing off, kind of gives you a little bit of an opening. Like you can kind of see there, you can kind of sneak through, and you can use that to go from like from like a gap in the crowd to the next gap. Yep, like that. Kind of stuck, and as soon as they bounce off, you got to act immediately. Slip on through. Okay. So I'm going to wait for my weapon ability to come off cooldown. Here we go. Now I'm going to use a potion so I can cancel out of it.
The bigger they are, the harder they feel.
You can kind of see those illusions really putting in some work. I think I'm actually going to use another one. Spider Queen's going already. Yeah, one of the things, yeah, so if you're playing like solo Thyra, or whatever, you happen to be using the potion that I'm using. I'm actually gonna go back to go get that, to go buy a potion. I was thinking maybe, because I think I had like 4, and I was thinking maybe that they would give me a 5th one for free, but they did not. You can use the potion to kill off the Spider Queen pretty quickly.
Not even death will stop me from having
So,
my
here we
vengeance.
go. I'm just trying to demonstrate how you can go through kind of go through like different walls of enemies. Right here, you wouldn't have enough time to back away. I mean, to use this to spear thrust. So what you can do is you can turn back, slash, and now you've got that time. I think you'll have enough time to do that. So here, I'm actually going to use the shield slashing again. So I'm waiting for the big guy, because that big guy is kind of in the mix there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for something to bounce off. Wait for something to bounce off, then slash, then go in, then use the special ability, then spear thrust out of it. And you can travel pretty far with that. So, shield, sneak through, oof. So right now, yeah, when they were that close, using the spear thrust would not be safe. So you can turn around, you can slash. Sometimes, you know, like a second wave kind of immediately replaces them. So you kind of have to be careful. Sometimes you do have to do more than one slash before you have a safe opening. Because sometimes what will end up happening is that you'll slash the first guy, and then the one behind him immediately approaches and still hits you anyway. Alright, so this is a tough room. I'm already seeing there's like a ton of, you know, orc juggernauts and such. So, okay. Go for the Spider Queen. The reason I waited is just so that way I can kind of use I can use my special ability for like 2 different purposes. One, to cancel out that ending lag or whatever on that potion use, but then also use the iframes to block the spider jump. You can kind of see with just that one use of the potion, already the room has become a lot easier. Okay, so slice off the edge. Yeah, those little spiders, they're fast, man. Okay. I knew I was going to get hit by the little spider. I just kind of had to accept that as an alternative over getting jumped on by the Spider Queen. Grab this gold. Okay. There we go. Block, walk through the opening, and then immediately turn around, block again. Oop. Let go too soon. So, kind of between blocks, you can move a little bit. Oops. Okay. That's enough of that. Oops.
Welcome back.
See if I can get it now. There we go. That's what I was trying to do. Okay, so again, tough room. Just gonna use a tornado to just kind of open up a good spot for me to drop my Valkyries. Actually, I think I'm gonna drop another one. It looks like this room needs it. I didn't even see that. Okay. Immediately the room got so much easier. One of the things I've noticed a lot of players do is they just forget to use their potions, or I don't know, maybe they think that they're just going to save it for a better time, and it's like, well, now's the perfect time, and they'll just sit on them. So I guess that's a little bit of the learning curve.
You had it coming.
I guess it's like the
I need to replenish my strength.
it's like that meme, you know, you just kind of sit on your resources and you just never use them. So you can see there, threats on multiple sides is fine as long as you're, you know, prepared to deal with them all. How I use the how I use like that circle spin thing. Okay, slash through them. And here we go. Here's some more shield slashing. Alright, so I'm definitely going to need a potion here. Let's see where this third hit is. Yep, here we go. Pretty sure I'm gonna need another one too. It's my last one, but oh well. Hopefully the next floor will have a shot with a bunch of them. But either way, I think it's worthwhile to just use it here. That was close. That was interesting. Just grab this gold. Missed. Alright, here we go. 2 potions. Nice. Sometimes people ask, like, why don't you buy coins? You can if you want, I guess. You really don't need to after a certain point. Wow, he bumped me and made my tornado go off in the wrong direction. You can buy coins if you want to. I don't find them that useful, usually, because as long as I have potions, I can pretty much make a coin at 0. Because if you don't know, coins build the fastest at 0, and they progressively get more difficult to build. So, and especially as Thyra, because she's pretty good at building coin anyway with this particular weapon. So let's see. Just trying to stick to the edge. Slice off the edge, block them. Kind of get in the middle here. So yeah, I mean, if you're pretty confident, with your ability to build coins when you're at 0. And as long as you're paying attention to when it is 0. Because that can be easy to overlook. Sometimes you just kind of get caught up in the heat of the moment. And you don't even look at the coin count. I've definitely died to that. Okay, so here's some more shield slashing. I'm just kind of keeping them close. You can kind of see how they're in a nice big cluster. So now I'm going to go in, do that.
This seems bad.
Wipe them all out. Instead of having them just constantly bounce off my shield. Okay. Now for the gargoyles, these little, hold on. Yeah, so for the gargoyles, you only have to block 2 of their shots. Or rather, 2 of their shots deflected back at them is enough to kill them. Sometimes the shot just won't hit them. Because, I don't know, maybe another enemy was in the way. And there's some more of that shield slashing. And you can kind of see, I just kind of use it to keep the enemies close together. So they're not bouncing far out like how you kind of see there. See how far they go out? I don't want them that far out. I want them close.
We really
And I want them close so I can get as many as I can in a single move like that. Okay. You can block that. If you didn't know, the zealots will, the guys that explode, like when they die and they turn into like the 4 bullets. If you didn't know, they actually telegraph what direction, like what direction those 4 bullets are going to go in. You can kind of see it's feet, head, and then the 2 arms, and they go out in that direction. So if you pay attention to where they are, I mean like the way that they are exploding, then you can know, you just say like, I'm probably safe here. Yeah. And if you pay attention to that, it can save your life a lot. Like right here, I'm safe. Okay, so here you got to kind of be careful because there's always going to be like a bunch of dudes. Oh yeah, and that's another thing too. You can actually use the shield to kind of disrupt other enemies. So, let's see. You see how I hit that sorcerer? Like, if he was trying to do like a hex or something like that, it would have disrupted him. Like, let's see if I can disrupt him. Just shield blocking. So if you get kind of so you can kind of get strategic with it, and you don't have to like overextend yourself to try to sneak in a slash if you're like right next to him. Sometimes you can just put your shield up next to him and let another enemy kind of do the work for you. And let the sorcerer kind of get caught in the little knockback there. So here's some more shield slashing. I'm gathering them all up. Then I slide in
This could come in handy.
and do the circle attack. So we got one more potion over here. So here I'm just blocking, moving a little bit, blocking, moving a little bit. Staying to one side if I can. I might have to dodge this. Nope. Sometimes when you enter a room, if the hex was caused from outside the room, it'll go away. That doesn't always happen, but I think it's supposed to. I think when it doesn't, it's probably a glitch. Okay, so we've got a bunch of... So let's see, what's the strategy for this room? So we've got a bunch of sorcerers here, and you're going to want to kill the sorcerers. Sorcerers are like priority 1. Sorcerers and imps. Imps being the gargoyles. I think what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to probably summon some Valkyries down here. Use a potion down here. Maybe directly on the eye to just kill the eye and get it out of the way. I might actually do the same for the other eye. So let's see what happens. Use my tornado to kind of block him. And right now, I'm thinking I need to get rid of those sorcerers as soon as I can. Okay. Yep. There we go. Yeah, I don't know if there was too much I could have done there. I'm just going to try to block. Dodge that. I think there was a guy behind the eye that I didn't account for. So the eye over here should be pretty weak. Yeah, here we go. Normally, I would probably just advise to just use another potion. Just have 2 potions going at once. But I kind of wanted to try it without. Okay. And that's something you kind of have to be careful of, because when you're done with the circle slash, extreme prejudice, when you're done with that, things that are on, like when your iframe ends, if something like that fireball that you saw, if it's on top of you when it's done, you'll immediately take damage, even if like even if you try to put out your shield, it won't really matter, because you're already overlapping with it. Alright, so here I'm going to use some more shield slashing just to kind of gather things up. Just going to hold my ground a little bit while those fireballs are coming out. More shield slashing. Block this while I walk away from him. I feel like I blocked that, but I guess not. Alright, so here's a good place to just use a tornado. You see a bunch of guys like this. Just gonna kill him, just in case he's problems later. Shield block, move a little, shield block, move a little. Shield block, shield block, shield block, shield block. And that might take a little bit of time to get used to, like when you should block and things like that. But there is kind of a feeling to it. I almost got hit by that. You kind of see. See, I'm still kind of able to move around a little bit. Okay. And then there we go. Disrupt him with just the shield. Alright, he's stuck in the wall, so let me get out of here.
Valkyrie.
Hey, I'll take everything. Okay, more shield slashing, and I'm just waiting for those guys in the back to kind of come to the front a little bit. Move in. Just slash him. Just kind of stun him for a little bit. Alright, I'm gonna need a potion in this room. I almost didn't even see those demons there. Alright, so you want sorcerers and imps, first thing. More like, they're higher priority than the stones. Stones really aren't, like, as much as the game, you know, tries to encourage you to defeat the stones or whatever, stones are often not very high priority.
You are about to die.
Like, they're higher priority than, like, the little guys, but
Only to
anything bigger than them, stones kind of take a back seat to.
Seen such burden.
We really need to take out that summoning stone.
Yeah, sometimes when you do the spear thrust. Okay, I'm gonna stick to the corners. Sometimes when you spear thrust, you'll want to have that shield out immediately. So here we go, just kind of moving. I could use the tornado, but I'm just kind of showing you what you can do. A little hard to see around that rock. I guess the guy hit me
Back in the fight with blade and
when I didn't notice that he was there. You can dodge a hex with the spear thrust. It's very difficult. It's probably the most difficult way to dodge a hex because of all this wind up right here. But like, yeah, if you can catch it in the middle there, you'll avoid it. Alright, so I'm gonna throw a tornado kind of there. And I'm gonna try to follow it. Wasn't the best throw, but I got kind of lucky. There weren't too many enemies. Wow, free room. Let's go. Okay.
this seems valuable.
Oops. Yeah, I got caught with multiple threats. I kind of delayed because I wanted to explain something, but I waited too long. Alright, so here, bounce through, let them bounce off, and then you walk through. So let's see.
Another chance. I
Start
won't
back
make
here.
the same mistake twice.
Maybe they'll kind of line up for me so I can show. Alright, I'm just gonna get rid of the sorcerers because they're just in the way. Looks like I killed too much, so. See, are there more guys up here? Nope. It's alright. We'll get plenty on the next floor. And you can also use, potions there too. I'm gonna try to follow this tornado. Okay, sorcerers and imps, sorcerers and imps. That's what we want to get rid of first of all. And then after sorcerers and imps, sorcerers being the higher priority of the two. So block 2 of these. There we go. That's enough for him. And then once the sorcerers and imps are gone, you want to kind of, you kind of want to camp around the big towers, because that's what can spawn more sorcerers, like you kind of see there.
I think I'll hold on to this.
Okay. I don't know if you noticed, but I used more shield slashing there to kind of jump into the middle.
Got to take out that summoning stone.
So I want to get on this side. Here we go. Here's some more. So you can kind of see I use it a lot.
Impressive.
It's very nice for keeping enemies close together. Okay, so that's probably the most dangerous attack, the one with the 2 things that are orbiting him, the 2 fireballs. That's probably the most useful attack, the spiral fireballs, because you can get like those last 3. Yeah, here we go. You can deflect them back into him. Very useful. Okay. So here, you'd use like a tornado or something.
Valkyrie is back.
But I was trying to show with the shield. Here we go. Pop on the other side. So if you're kind of getting locked in like that, you block, and you jump in on the other side.
This could come in handy.
Block that. And I think death is the next floor. Yeah. So I'm not. I didn't use potions as much as I normally would, but a lot of this I'm just trying to demonstrate. I'm not really like. I'm not really playing at like my best or anything here. Sacrifices for the cause. So 1, 2, 1, 2. Sorcerers and imps. Sorcerers and imps. We'll throw a tornado. Get that guy.
This seems done.
For a tough room like this, you can just throw like down another set of the Valkyries. In fact, I think that's what I'll do. Because I'm almost done with this portal.
Keep that up and you'll stay alive for just a while longer.
Alright, and we're pretty much at the end here. Final stretch. And you kind of notice I'm backing up just to get a little bit more room on that next slash. Block.
I think I'll hold on to this.
And enemies that have been blocked and they bounce off, they tend to kind of stay on the ground for a while. You often don't notice it because, I guess because there's so many enemies. But, yeah, it's a really, I would say Thyra's shield is probably like the single best normal in the game. Other than like not counting, like the relics and potions and things like that. So one of the things I actually forgot to mention is that when you do a spear thrust into a wall, you'll actually get stunned like that. See how she kind of like bounces off? And that opens you up to attack. What you can do instead is that you can hold the shield while you're doing the spear thrust. It just has to be at the beginning. You don't have to hold it all the way through. I recommend that you do, because you can combine this with the shield canceling I was talking about before. So like shield comes up, then you do the spear thrust, and you see how I canceled that ending lag, and now you can let go. So you're kind of combining like 2 techniques into one. So if you remember the shield canceling, how you do the spear thrust and then you just flick the shield at the end. I guess it's kind of a habit for me now to combine the 2. I don't separate them, but they are actually 2 different techniques. So like spear and then use the shield at the end, and that cancels out that lag. But the other technique being, if you hold shield at the start of the spear thrust, then you do it, then you'll just slide into it. So you can combine pushing down the shield, then the spear thrust, then let go. And then all together it would look like that. Shield, thrust, let go. This actually has another use as well, and that is it lets you go through big enemies. So any enemy that you would normally crash into, like this big guy here, You see how I kind of like, let me see if I can get rid of these small guys. You see how I kind of get stuck on him? Well, you can actually go through him if your shield was up. And this is nice if you're going to use it for a situation like this, where like, if you were to stop the enemies and then you can come through. Whereas like, if I wasn't holding the shield, I would just get stuck on him and I wouldn't go anywhere. So I can go through and yeah. So, very useful technique. I meant to mention it earlier, but I forgot, and then I remembered it while I was editing. But anyway, yeah, so that's Thyra. Hopefully that helped. Thanks for watching.